Hi friends, how are you all? Today we will discuss a highly innovative way of advertising. This is getting a large scale adoption by large brands, and it is known by various names like 3D billboards, three-dimensional billboards, or 3D OOH, three-dimensional out-of-home advertising.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Metaverse Guy Podcast. I'm Pulkit Mathur, co-founder of Wassel and Queplin, and I'll be your host for today. In this podcast, we discuss augmented reality, virtual reality, Web3, basically all the constituent elements of the metaverse, how it impacts you, how it impacts the world, and what will be the future of all the life that we live because of all these technologies. If you are a technology enthusiast, if you are a marketer, or if you are an entrepreneur, you will find a lot of important information in our podcasts. And if you do find this helpful, please subscribe to our channel, the Metaverse Guy Podcast.
Today to discuss our topic, I have Pulkit Mathur. Hi Pulkit, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Prabhu.
So we are very excited about knowing 3D billboards and 3D OOH in detail. But before we do that, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
So I'm Pulkit. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Queplin. And Queplin has been around for 12 years now. And we are one of the pioneers in metaverse technologies. And we do solutions for our clients in the space of augmented virtual reality, NFTs, blockchain.
Excellent. So tell us about what 3D OOH is, what are 3D billboards, and where can we see them today in the world?
So I'll start from the beginning. So billboards have been around, as you know, for the longest time as we can remember, right? So billboards are essentially three types. There are static billboards, then there are digital billboards, and then there are 3D billboards.
Okay.
So static billboards have been around, brands have been doing campaigns on them. Now the next phase, the next evolution was digital billboards, where brands used to advocate digital creatives on that. They were the next evolution for them. Then came along this magical new thing, which we better known as 3D OOH. Now 3D OOH is done essentially when you marry 3D content and 3D hardware. And that is when the real magic of this happens. Now this can also be done on a normal digital hardware, but the real effect only comes when you have these 3D billboards, which are really large, lifelike, large size.
So you're saying essentially that when a person goes on a street and they see a 3D billboard in front of them, they see lifelike objects coming towards them and they feel more immersed in them. Is that
Absolutely
what it is about?
Absolutely. So if you go to marquee locations like malls, and especially in countries like USA, UK, where they are hugely popular,
Like Piccadilly Circus or Times Square.
Piccadilly Circus, Times Square. Even in India, in a couple of places, they have started coming up. So they have been around for a good 3-4 years. The last 7 to 8 months, they have gained traction exponentially, and we've been getting requests from companies to do these for them. And what it actually does is it creates that effect where anyone, and especially the whole crowd which is watching that, they feel that they are a part of that experience. Traditionally,
Awesome.
Billboards was a form where people used to just see and that was the end of it. But now you are actually a part of that experience. So if you go to these locations which you mentioned, and if you experience them in real life, you'll see a sneaker which is actually coming out of the screen. So you are tempted to actually go and try it out.
Awesome.
You'll see these car campaigns, like BMWs have done it. So you'll see that car coming out of that screen. So that is what the magic of 3D billboard does. So when you talk about the billboards as such, the hardware part, they can be different types. So they can be these curved billboards,
The L-shaped
billboards,
Right.
and there can be these flat screen billboards as well. Both of them, the curved one, of course, are a notch above, but even the flat screens have campaigns running on.
Awesome. So just to add to it, the curved ones or the L-shaped ones, as Pulkit mentioned, also have an added physical dimension to it, which adds to the whole experience of 3D billboard.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. So you talked about a very interesting concept of how people feel immersed in these experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to come to this a little later. But before that, can you tell us about some brands who have already created these 3D billboards? They've
Yes.
done their campaigns on them.
Yes, so brands. So if you talk about brands in all domains, right from technologies to automobile to TV shows. So I'll give you an example of BMW. So BMW did a very successful campaign. They were launching one of their new cars, and it was targeted towards high-end people, of course, right? So they did this campaign, I think, on Piccadilly Square. Similarly, Meta did it. They have done it for Oculus and WhatsApp as well. Again, in London.
Yeah, very viral campaign.
Very viral, very viral. In fact, that's the beauty of these campaigns. The total viewership it generates online far outweighs the number of people who have seen it in real life.
Can you tell us more in detail how that happens when you say that it generates a lot of virality, even more than the people who are witnessing it there on the street?
Mm-hmm.
How is that?
Right. So so today, people have this. People have the tools to make it viral. For example, today you see something. People see a dish. They want to click a picture and make a reel out of it. This was not there 7 or 8 years back. So today, when people see such an experience, they instantly want to share this with their circle, and that is what makes it go viral.
So, and how they share it on social media?
They share it on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere.
Okay, so with a smartphone, they take a video of this experience and then they share it on.
Yes.
Excellent. Now you mentioned some brands and some amazing brands like WhatsApp and BMW who've done these kind of campaigns before.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about a few campaigns that Queplin has done for its client in 3D billboard space.
Right. So we have done campaigns, for example, in Manila, Philippines, for a sneaker brand. We just did a campaign in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan,
Wow.
in Fifth Avenue. And that was for a phone company. So, and the reaction that we get from clients is just wow. This is like people actually stand, they pause for a few seconds and they see it. Typically, this does not happen when they see a normal billboard. So that is the kind of interest we are able to generate from the people who are watching this.
Okay, so for our viewers on YouTube, here you will see a video on the screen with both the Manhattan, New York campaign that Queplin has done, as well as the Manila campaign that was done. And for our listeners on audio podcasts, you will be able to see this on YouTube. So I request you to go and check out these 3D billboard campaigns from Queplin there. But excellent stuff. Yeah. So let's delve deep into this, Pulkit, and let's try and understand why 3D billboards are popular now, why are they becoming popular now, and how has the ecosystem changed to allow a large-scale adoption of 3D billboards?
Right. So I think it's essentially because of two factors. Number one is technology. So today we have the means and the tools to create such an effect in relatively short time, which was not these tools have developed over the last 5-6 years. They were not there a decade ago, I would say.
Okay.
So that enables all creative agencies like us to do this in time, right? Because whenever a new brand approaches us to do something like this, they have a fixed amount of time where they want that campaign to go live. So this is one.
But this is both on software or hardware, or have both of them evolved it on
both? So I would say both. The software part of it is definitely now you have all kinds of tools available, and of course the hardware part as well. So these lifelike 3D billboards, the curved ones, or even the large flat digital billboards, were not there 10 years back.
Okay.
So and because it's a combination of both these things, today the availability is there, right? And that makes it possible to make such campaigns.
So the anamorphic tools that you were talking about, can you tell us more about that?
Yes. So the second, I would say, is the virality part of it. Today, people are sharing these across social media. They want to take a picture of it. They want to make a reel out of it, and they can do it very relatively quickly. 10 years back, this was not there. So when we combine both these factors today, this makes it a revolution in this space.
Okay, so for our audience, let me just simplify this a little more. What Pulkit is talking about is the shareability aspect, right?
Yeah.
So people, you're saying when they see a 3D billboard happening, they are able to capture that,
Click a
in their
picture of it
smartphone
and share it across.
and share it on social media again.
Yeah.
So that shareability factor you're saying is big
today.
is big today, and that's why this is becoming more popular.
Yes.
Awesome. And so you talked about why 3D billboards are popular.
Mm-hmm.
Let's also understand why people like.
Yes. So that's a great question. So if you look at the evolution of content in general, visual content, this is, or any technology for that matter, there is a progression that happens. So if you look at, let's say, smartphones, you had 10 years back, you had those big smartphones, right? With those keypad phones. Then came along the touchscreen phones, and then came along the high-end touchscreen phones with very fancy cameras. So it's a technological progression that happens in smartphones. Similarly, in visual content, you had 2D animations first, then came along 3D animations, and then this is the next big thing. So people want to be, so in general, the human tendency is to like content which is lifelike. You want to look at things which make you feel a part of it, which are actual, which are there, and the way how you would experience it in physical life. So the whole concept even of the metaverse is that you want to feel those things as they are in you.
Okay. So you're saying that when I see a car on a billboard, rather than looking at a 2D car, I'm more interested in looking at a lifelike car there.
Lifelike, immersive experience for it, right? So if you're going on a street, you see, imagine yourself just going on a street and seeing a static billboard with a car on it, and compared to that, imagine yourself going across the street, a marquee location where you see a huge curved billboard with a car coming out of it, right? You'll get your answer there. Right? So that's where the world is moving. That's where the content is or has moved already. It's that progression has already happened.
You know, an interesting analogy for this could be that when you go to a theater, watching a play there, and you would see that the many times somebody from the audience is made a part of that play.
Yeah.
They ask a question to that person. So somebody stands up and they're probably brought on stage, so on and so forth. So for this person, it becomes an immersive experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for everybody else,
you're part of it.
But everybody else is not.
Yes.
Right. But with 3D billboards, or the beauty of it is that all the people there are a part of that immersive experience together. They are in this together. Nobody has been singled out, yet it's an immersive experience for a collective audience.
Absolutely. For everyone out there who's watching it.
Right. Amazing. Now, so these are very interesting concepts, and Queplin has been doing some amazing campaigns, even down to Manhattan as well. But how can brand managers who have not gotten started in this space today, how can they start their brand's journey in the 3D billboard space?
Well, they should just call us, right? well, creating something, an experience like this for your audience, as I said previously as well, it's a combination of hardware and software. Right? So hardware, there's availability of that hardware. Typically, brands would have an outdoor agency working with them. So if you go to locations as you mentioned, in US or in UK and Europe, there are a lot of these that are out there. In India, there are relatively less number. They are coming up. So you need that hardware, and you need specific 3D anamorphic content, which agencies, companies like Quiplen, like us, do. So, and when you combine these two, then this magic happens. So as a company, we also have partnerships with such outdoor companies where if any brand approaches us, we enable. So we provide it as a turnkey solution for them. And of course, via our partnerships through our many outdoor agencies, if a brand approaches them, we are able to create that magic, that visual effect for them.
Great. So, Pulkit, you told us about how brand managers can get started with their journey in the 3D billboard space.
Right.
Can you also quickly tell us about the process? How do you do this for brands?
Sure. So typically, Praful, what happens is brands come to us with a specific set of brief that they have in mind. So whether it's a new product or a new service, they have that brief with them, which they give to us, on which we work, on which our team works on. Now that brief, now we get to that brief and we take it through a series of steps, which is basically storyboarding, modeling, animation, visual artists get involved. It's a cross-functional team which gets involved in that, and that gets delivered to that hardware as an immersive experience.
So on-site delivery is through that hardware file.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I think that has been a great conversation, Pulkit. I am very hopeful and I am very confident that our audience has benefited from this, be it a tech enthusiast, be it a marketing enthusiast, or a brand manager who wants to get started in the 3D billboard space. I really need to thank you for taking your time out.
Thank you. My pleasure completely.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.